We here. I cruised on the northern side of Okinawa, Japan, and just to take in the beauty of it, take in everything that's going on here, and just how grateful I am of having what I have, being able to see the beauty, grateful of the beauty, grateful to have this home, have the friends that I have, the family that I have, and how appreciative I am of being granted or being afforded these opportunities that allow me to travel to where I've been, to live where I am, these opportunities to explore and have the experiences that I've had, and how grateful I am of those experiences. And I see that, with people losing family, me losing, I lost family myself, and hearing of other friends losing family and people that I work with losing loved ones, and with everything that's going on, not just with what's going on, but just in general, and just how short life seems, and me realizing that there's a certain point where you can't equate being dumb to being young, right? It's just you're either stupid or you're not. And even with that, and just recognizing how short life is, I still think it's important not to perceive growing up or being an adult as one thing. I was talking to someone recently about that. Well, they were talking to me about being an adult and growing up, and that they realize they need to be an adult and grow up. This is a person that is a few years younger than I am, and saying that they can no longer do certain things. And I think that what is considered an adult or growing up, and I put it in quotes because I think it's a matter of perspective and relativity of what that means to certain people. Hold on. I need water. Got it. Sorry, I needed some water. Just because you're an adult, just because you're growing up, doesn't mean you have to give up certain things, right? Of course, there's this expectation of maturity or certain responsibilities that people have to have or expected to have. And I think a lot of it I don't really have, right? Like I have my own home. Well, I don't own it. I'm living in a house by myself, right? I'm renting it out by myself. I have a job. I pay my own bills, internet, entertainment such as HBO, Hulu. I have a cell phone bill. I live on the other side of the world by myself, and I still enjoy playing laser tag. I still like board games. I still play video games a lot. I still go on YouTube. I still enjoy watching cartoons. Adventure Time is amazing. So is the Avatar. So it's I think there's just this certain perspective people have, and also the type of fun that is expected for an adult. And I think that's why as kids, we always want to do certain things like drinking or smoking, because that's the fun thing adults do. I have not drank since November of 2019. So it's been over a year. I just haven't had any reason to. I haven't been enticed to. Peer pressure is not going to work on me. As much as people try, peer pressure does not work on me. It's just, it's not going to work on me. It's not something I'm really into. Not to say I'm no longer going to do it. Maybe, there'll be an occasion where I feel maybe I'll dabble in it. I'll take a sip of that wine and enjoy it a little bit. So back to this being grateful thing. I just had an interview a few days ago. And while I was going into it, I was very confident. I was dressed up nice, but aside from that, I was confident, I think, because I knew I didn't need that job, right? I am in a position where there are opportunities and avenues I can take to where I can take multiple at one time. I can commit 10,000% to a single avenue, but I am not stressing over where I'm going to work after I separate from the military, where I'm going to live after I separate, once I leave the United States Air Force. I've served over 6 years. It's a lifestyle that's not for me. I'm ready to move on. But having having this sense, this moment, like going into the interview. As I went in, I was nervous for a second, and then right when it started, something just came over me of you. This is an opportunity for you, but it's not necessary for you to have to be happy or successful or comfortable or being able to progress. And I am so happy to have that mindset, but also in reality, in real life, be in that position. I think that ties in being growing up and being an adult, because I think that people have to follow a set path, and it's expected. I mean, society has put that on us to have a set path of, there's that traditional way that people don't really follow anymore, but we have all heard of that. Graduate high school, go to college, have a career for 20 and 30 years in one company, retire off that, investing in a 401k IRA. And then, of course, that's kind of going away. People are not necessarily requiring to go to college, even if it's preferred. People aren't necessarily required to work at one company for so long. Entrepreneurship is blowing up in America. It's already been a big thing in other countries, but it's like growing. And I think that goes into just individualism, being allowed to be an individual and take more risks. And I think it's going to get even better. I think it's gotten better. I think society has gotten better in that perspective, at least in America, even with so much that's gone on that has worried some people. Of course, there are issues that we are facing and dealing with, but there's a flip side of there are certain things that we are able to take advantage of, and that we should take advantage of. So that's just something I wanted to share, and just a thing that came to mind. And that growing up and being an adult doesn't have to mean one thing. It can mean many things. You do not necessarily have to follow that traditional path, or you don't have to have a child by a certain age, or get married by a certain age, or have a set career by a certain age, because now we see people find their career, they find their footing in their 30s, like it's the new 20, like that saying of it's the new 20. It's the thing. And I'm not saying that to for me so that I can just slack until then. It's just something I see now, and I thought that was really cool, and something that a lot of people don't recognize or realize, or maybe they see it but they're ignoring it because they're complacent and they're set. I had this dream. That was really weird. I've been having weird dreams, but somebody handed me a little kitten. Like it was like small, and I didn't want it because I'm more of a dog person. I like both, but I prefer dogs. And I didn't want it, and they walked off. And so I forgot what name I gave it, but I gave it a weird name. And then I was like, I don't want it. Right? I don't really care for it. I'm walking into the basement. Then somebody shows up and like wanting to hunt me down, and they whip out a Pokeball, but it was yellow. It was all yellow. They threw it, and I caught it, so it wouldn't open. Then they threw two more. I kicked one back at them. Didn't open. It was just shaking. Then one went behind me. It shook, and then it like exploded, and then opened up this hole in this wall, and these 10 black legs with the tips that were like orangish red or reddish orange, as if they were hot. They've been burned, like metal looks when it's warm, when it's hot. And then this like giant black creature connected to the legs, comes out, and I start running, and you just hear it yelling, and then more start breaking out of the walls, and we're just running, and then that basement ends up turning into a spaceship, right? So now I'm running through these futuristic halls with doors that just slide automatically, and so then that all happened, and yeah, I felt that was a cool dream.